All right. So I wanted to have a conversation with you, okay?
Right. Tell them about what,
Um,
because
right. So I saw a YouTube video, all right, with you talking to Destiny about living life, all right, the criterias of living life and what you got to do and how you need to balance the work-life dynamic, right? That's what I saw you talk to him about. And I just wanted to have a bit of a chat with you about that and explore that a little bit further because I feel like that broke down instantly, okay? I feel like
was
that
that recent?
went downhill pretty
That was
fast. Yeah,
recent,
it
right?
was. Yeah, it should have been like literally yesterday or today, I think, or
Right.
whatever.
Okay, so it's
Technically, or
good. It's
yesterday.
good. Right. So it's good
Right.
shit. Okay.
And so, yeah, I wanted to have a conversation with you about it because it seemed like you two had some disagreement. I didn't understand exactly where both of your positions are. So,
hmm
can you tell me what you thought, like what you were arguing your position was in that conversation?
Basically, he is identical to my dad, right? My dad will be like, health is the most important. You should only stream like 6 hours a day, blah, 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 blah. And I'm kind of like his parents, which they just believe hard work, hard work, hard work, and kind of like everything else on the back burner, right? So I guess my position is everyone should be cranking like 18-hour streams, but his was
Mm-hmm.
balanced lifestyle. And I, I guess you're defending his point, right? For a balanced
I
lifestyle. And
So I would, yeah, I
yeah,
would probably consider some form of a balanced lifestyle as being preferable.
right. Okay. So can we talk about streaming? Is it a good idea to be a balanced human being when you're a streamer full time?
Um, it depends on the type of content that you're doing, but generally speaking, it's probably going to be better to stream for longer periods of time.
Right. Now, my argument is whether you have a balanced life or not, it's irrelevant. You
Hmm.
can only ever have a full life when you're out of the rat race, when you're financially free. My argument is you work your ass off 20 years old to 32, 18-hour days every single day, right? And
Sure.
of course have a taste of like the social life and all that I used to. But after the taste is over, maybe a few summers, blah, 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 back on the horse, you stay there, you grind, and you pretty much become a fucking zombie if you think about it. Or you become me or old Destiny because he's gonna lie and say, oh, he was never he was like that, right? And a lot of the top guys were like the SGC train, anyone who's in
Sure.
these iconic roles. My argument is you get more quality out of life and maybe even quantity, right? I'm not talking about lifespan and stuff, but like you get more of those quality years, I guess, if you put in the work, make yourself financially free, and you have more time to spend with family. You can vacation. You can pretty much save everyone, and everyone turns into a write off. Spending money on them becomes a lot of fun. You gain so much by sacrificing everything and becoming extreme. So my whole argument is moderation is the biggest fucking lie in society. Go ahead.
So yeah, my argument against this would be that you're in the perspective of streamers, especially, we're looking at the exceptional people, right? We're looking at exceptional people.
Mhm.
Most streamers that put a lot of time in aren't going to make it just because they're not like at the right times, they don't have the right content or what have you, right? So when you look at Destiny, when you look at XQC, there's literally tens of thousands of people that were like them that didn't make it,
Mhm.
and that's just because like other restrictions got in the way, a whole list of things of why they didn't make it, right? But that's the case. So their work ethic only matters if you have, in conjunction with it, a list of other advantages and or other things. But I don't necessarily disagree with you that their work ethic did play a part in getting them where they are, right? The fact that for 10 hours a day I can sit there and I can watch Destiny, or for 12 hours a day I can sit there and I can watch XQC or whatever, play GTA RP. Absolutely, it builds to that, but it's also in conjunction with some other thing that they also offer. So I don't think it's just hard work. You need hard work and a plan and things like this. And also, I would say that a lot of those benefits that those people get, because what you're talking about is like, these people can, fucking take a couple months off, literally fly anywhere, fucking have sex all they fucking want,
Mm.
drink whatever fucking drinks they want, order the most expensive food,
Yep.
and enjoy all that. But like, it really comes down to what you want as a person. Because like for me, for instance, I don't really want any of that. I've said before that what I'm really satisfied with, and this is what I imagine everybody the fuck says and virtue signals about and stuff. So don't take my word for that shit. It's fucking cringe as fuck. Don't take my word for it.
Mhm.
When I say this, what I want is I want it like a sturdy, foundation, strong foundation, sturdy roof, fast internet, and a fast PC. That's what
Right.
I want. I
Right.
just want to play fucking video games for the rest of my life. I truly, that is the happiest I've ever been, and I think that's the happiest I'll ever be. I've tried dating and trying to hook up and having a bunch of sex. I don't enjoy it. I think it's too much social work. I think it's way
Yeah.
way more stressful than what it is worth. I find playing video games to truly, I mean, people could say it's a cope, and maybe it actually fucking is. I don't know. I just think it's fucking amazing. It feels incredible to me. That's what makes me happy. And in order for me to do that, I need like very small shit. So I think it's more of a question of, you need to ask yourself, what do you want? If you do want the Bugattis, if you want the fucking Gucci, if you want to fly around the world and do all that fucking shit, I think you need to do a little bit more examination, because I think that's pushed onto us, and you need to look and really imagine and really think about if that's something that you want, or if you're being sold that idea that that's what you want. But if that is something that you want, you are, I agree, gonna have to really fucking work for it. And you're probably not going to get it, but that is something that
Okay.
you can do. So it really depends on what you want.
Okay. To break it down, we assume there's like 100-viewer Andy, and he adopts
Yeah.
my ideology of like, your whole 20s
Yeah.
are pissed into hard work.
Yeah.
My argument isn't really to be like the next XUC for everyone,
Sure.
but would you agree that being 10%, 20%, 30% of XUC is insanely good, right?
Of course.
Right? And-
Obviously, yeah.
right.
That's like a 6K Andy if we're talking about viewership, at least a minimum, right?
Right. So here's what I'm trying to say, right? The more time you're live, you're just increasing opportunity, clips, viral
Yep.
clips, whatever the fuck.
Yep.
All your stats are going up. All your stats are going up. My
Yep.
issue with a balanced lifestyle, right,
Mm-hmm.
is I've realized everything you want to do. Let's say you did want to do hookups and stuff like that. Everything you want to do in your 20s, you can make up for 10 years of your 20s in 1 year of your 30th birthday if you have the financial means. You can set up parties for a year. You can do whatever the fuck you want. So you have the option to go back into a social life. You have the option always there, right? But if you piss away your 20s, work, girlfriend, regular life, blah, 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 balance, blah, 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 you never have that option. Number two, right? My philosophy is like your 30s can be fun, but your 20s have to be rough. Like you have to be sweating at the computer, going hard. My issue is I don't think a young man will ever be happy. I genuinely feel this. They'll never feel fulfillment without community. So it can't just be gaming. You got to be around family and stuff like that. But really,
Sure.
really, my argument is mastery, right? I've noticed without mastery, we young men are fucking in despair. There's something so crazy when you see a esports gamer who competes in Fortnite or whatever the fuck, and then when he stops competing, his soul leaves his body. Have you noticed that? Or retired athletes.
Mm-hmm.
When you take out the competition aspect and just put them in business settings, they lose it. I've noticed, especially gamers, they're so fucking competitive. If they're not scratching towards mastery every day, they are in despair. And what's crazy with mastery is it doesn't come with one girl. It comes with infinite. And if you don't want it, you don't have to, but you have the option. My lifestyle will have maximum options, maximum freedom, and it also offers youth. Your parents will not get old. A millionaire, right, has all this fucking success, $10 million. He spends much more time with his aging mother and father, right? Like he can. I mean, he has the option, right? He has all the means.
Yeah.
But when you're stuck in the fucking rat race, like I was, minimum wage and just regular life, girlfriend, minimum wage, blah, 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 I realized that I'll be working so hard for that fucking measly paycheck and stuff like that, that I won't ever actually have the power to be like, you know what? This summer, lake house, mom, grandma, kids, blah, 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 blah. I won't ever have the power that top streamers and successful people or icons or sports athletes, that these people have the access to do that. They can even fly across states. They can fly across countries and continents, right? Within a moment's notice to be with family, right? And
Sure.
family is huge where I come from, right? So I
Hmm.
think I'm asking you, what is the benefit of a balanced lifestyle 20 to 30? Like, what's the biggest benefit? I
Right.
don't get it.
And so it's those are pretty key years for you developing specific relationships that are going to be, throughout most of your life, like carry through most of your life.
Can you do
Would you
them at
give it?
30 when you're successful?
It depends.
Of
So
course you
there's
can.
going to be, well, the reason why is because there's going to be different people that you're going to feel comfortable interacting with, as well as other people are going to feel comfortable interacting with you. So, like, would you provide this argument to like women as well as men?
Um, Depends what kind of woman. Like Hillary Clinton, 100%. But a woman that just wants family, or the social kind of hair salon girl and stuff, definitely not. Most women not. But a Hillary Clinton, A-type personality, those kind of people. Or if Hillary Clinton's not competitive, I think she would be chewing on fucking squirrels at the park. She would lose it, right?
Sure. So, I guess what more I'm asking is like, or trying to get at, is that when I was talking about women, is that there's, because to my knowledge, you're pretty in line with like red pill shit, right?
Uh,
Yeah,
no, no. I'd say
not really.
I would say my pill is not even close. Has I know where you're going. If
Hmm.
you think I'm anything like Haas or Fresh Fit, I'm
I'm
very
not.
away
I'm
from
not.
it. I'm
Yeah,
very
I'm
away.
not on
I'm
that.
very away from
So,
it.
so then just allow me to bridge this and just tell me where you get it wrong. So, like, a key point in women's lives, at least as the red pill said, and we'll see if you're in line with this, for women is their 20s to be able to develop a lot of these connections and shit like this, because a lot of men find you more attractive in your 20s. If you're working hard in your 20s, then by that same ideology, you might put yourself in a significantly tougher position to be able to find somebody that you
Wrong.
can get in a partnership with. So you disagree with
That's
that?
very wrong, right?
Okay,
If
so
we
sure.
agree, irrelevant will be peaking at 35, right? That'll be the most.
Okay.
That'll be when you enter your Dragonite form, including with me and
Hmm.
most men, right? 35, you'll be peaking on everything, right?
Okay.
Finances, everything. Your security will be maxed out. At that point, whether you're like those creepy guys who want a 20-year-old or 25 or 30 or your age, right? You have
Hmm.
all options open to you. For some reason, you see chicks, they don't
Hmm.
really mind if the guy's older, right? I've
Sure.
noticed that. I've noticed that. It seems like if you're successful, very successful by 30, you're just opening up a lot of doors for it's just like more freedom. It's more freedom in general. But if
Sure.
you live a
So,
balanced lifestyle, you can't at 30, you can't say, "Hey, the years I have the most, I have the best hormone profile to work hard and stuff." If you spend your 20, a lot of people think 20 to 30 is the same as 30 to 40 energy level, and it's not even close. It's even
sure.
priorities change, even priorities.
Hmm.
And I'm not a family guy. I don't want kids or any of that fucking red pill shit, right? They all, I don't give a fuck about none of that, right? I'm more in it for my immediate family that, we're refugees, we're here together, I want to be
Hmm.
maximize my time with them. But it's like I cannot enjoy time with my family when I'm like stressed thinking about, oh my God, look at this. I've got to go work at a nightclub for $10 an hour and pay all these bills. You know what I mean? It's almost like when you're the working class, everything tries to suck the fucking joy out of your life. You ever feel that?
Sure. Well,
Right?
yeah, obviously. I mean, this is part of the reason why people say, video games are a cope, because it's a form of escapism, and I play them like all the time. So obviously, and to
I
a
mean, people
degree,
play
I
badminton
agree.
as a cope, so I don't really
Sure.
care about that one.
Right, right. So, like, the reason why I bring that up is because I practice something that is commonly, whether I like it or not, is used as a form of escape and stuff like that, to avoid some of the incoming like responsibility, like anguish that I feel as a result of being more working class. So yeah, I don't disagree with that, but like there is,
Sorry,
if
I
you
feel
have.
despair. When I'm in the working class, I feel like this sense of emptiness and despair where it's like I put all these hours and I swear to God, bills come out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You cannot win, and then it's time to pay your taxes in Canada, and you just what the fuck is going on? It seems like everything sinks its fangs into you, and you can't reverse it when you're 30. I mean, you, of course you can, but I would much rather have a decade head start and be a little socially awkward, and maybe it's almost kind of like the destiny formula, like he's living his college years right now, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and I kind
So
of like that he lives his college years with security instead of with fucking drunk losers at a college that are all broke and in debt.
right. So I guess then I would have a couple of questions from here. So then, if you agreed that the energy levels that you have in your 20s is probably significantly higher than in your 30s, i.e., you're able to work harder to be able to get on to grind for the money that you
More
to be able to.
more risks to everything. Yep.
Yeah, 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 sure. Then couldn't I make the same argument that like I have more energy to do what I want to, like, I don't know, go rock climbing, skydiving, or what have you in my 20s and enjoy that in my 20s in comparison to in my 30s?
Yeah, I maintain the position that if you're an adult, I don't think you should have friends. I think you should have coworkers. I think your coworkers become your friends, right? I think that's how you adult correctly. You shouldn't be staying with your high school friends. Again, rock climbing, if it's great, maybe once a week. But again, I will not spend any time doing stuff, even if I enjoy it, if I'm not headed towards mastery. For example, let's say weightlifting and physique and fitness, right? I used to get paid for it and stuff like that. When I was chasing a pro card, in the gym 7 days a week, all that shit, everything perfect. But the day I said I'm not going to compete, I didn't go to the gym for fun. I did 18-hour streams because I say, okay, I'm not going to work out like every chubby guy on the treadmill for 10 years, still chubby. I'm not doing, I don't want to enter 90% of NPC society where they kind of spin their wheels their whole life. I said, you know what? I'm not competing. As much as I love weightlifting, I have to make the adult decision to say, fuck this. We're going to streaming, and streaming is going to be 100% the same mindset as bodybuilding. I'm going for mastery again, right? I'm going to maximize my efforts, right? And to gamers, it should make sense because they're so fucking competitive. But
Yeah, of
gamers are
course.
only competitive in their play mode. They're not competitive in their careers, right? That's why they're
Sure,
so
that is true.
fucking violently successful when their career becomes gaming, right? They just clock in all the hours and they show everyone who's boss. They make YouTubers look like a fucking joke when they clock in, right? And it's beautiful to see, like, peak ninja hours, XUC, these guys, and I'm not a gamer anymore, but I was one of the best players in Skinya server for MapleStory back when there was like communities, guilds, and guild wars and stuff like that. And I went from the best player in my fucking server to the best bodybuilder. I got a Dwayne Johnson body double for the movie Skyscraper with my principal's talent agency. And I was like, oh, fuck, we're crushing bodybuilding now. We're getting paid for it a bit, very little, but I'm at least headed in that direction. Like, if you're a professional, you should get paid for what you do. Then I went to
Yeah.
nightclub. I said, if I do the most hours in security, I'll meet the highest level of network, the most people, and I'll be the highest paid security. I did that. And now Twitch, from the 1K Andes, I'm raking it in with money. We keep going, keep going. But a lot of people want me to slow down, focus on the girlfriend or focus on, all this stuff that is away from mastery. And I think 90% of society needs a regular life, but they're always looking up to people who are clocking in and going for like that iconic role, that to become Dragon Knights, to become XUC, Ninja, these high levels. Or Train used to be a smaller streamer and he grinded the fuck out, and I loved it. It's so inspiring. But people in my chat, Destiny, everyone violently wants me just to have balance, And to be honest, balance feels like the biggest scam on earth to me. I wish I could take back my beer guzzling days and just be on Twitch those days. I really wish. I know that made me and stuff, but all the party days and all the fucking drugs and all that, I wish that minimized to like 10% of my life, and the majority was streaming, right? And so I
Sure.
live with huge regret. And people are like, I'm really behind schedule on my mental clock, right? I'm 27 now. February 23rd, I turned 27. So I'm like, it's go time. And I can't see any arguments. There's no utility arguments to a balanced lifestyle. Like, what do I gain? There's nothing I gain. And a lot of people are like, well, you gain happiness. I don't. Some guys, there's ladies too, but I'm a guy, so I'm going to speak for myself. I don't think guys really I don't think chasing happiness is a good goal. I think life is about reducing suffering. And what the fuck? Am I lagging? Hello, hello, hello. Am I lagging, chat? What the hell? That's so weird. What the fuck? That's weird. Okay, let me
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You good?
Yeah. Basically, this is what I was trying to say. Okay. I think. Hold on. Fuck. How do I fix? Let me just say it. I think I'll be more fulfilled working hard. I'm not happy. I'm not sad. I'm just busy, and I think I gain more this way than chasing happiness. Most of society chases happiness. All I want to do is reduce my suffering and master my craft. That's all I want, and I think that's actually the key to happiness for the people who watch me, at least, right?
You think that's the key to happiness for the people that watch you?
No, I mean chasing happiness is very stupid. You should be reducing suffering. That's all life is. Just reduce suffering, get the stuff you want, the nice little computer, etc., etc. But once you make your life cozy and stuff like that, is really about clocking in, right? So I think mastery is number one, and you can't have that until you reduce your suffering and stuff that are like clouding your hard work, right? You're not going to work hard when you're clouded and fogged, right? So I think mastery is way more important for guys like you and me. You're like 23, right?
I'm 25.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
How many hours do you do? Aren't you extreme?
No, I'm nowhere near your hours. I do like 5 or 6 hours a day. I'm like less than a fucking full job. Like I'm nowhere near your hours. Your hours are nuts, dude. Yeah, your hours are insanity, bro.
I know. Imagine if I could do Adderall like the top, right? But if I do Adderall, I'll say something crazy and get banned. Like, what if I just say like, Alinity's all fucking crazy?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm worried about.
But yeah, I've been worried about just slipping like that and having it be done for me too. Okay. So I want to know then, if you are running with that belief, do you think that nothing in life will like give you? Because I like to kind of typically when it comes to this draw a distinction between like happiness and fulfillment. Do you know what will make you feel fulfilled in life?
I
Like
know.
feel like your life is worth it?
I know it's always going to be community, like mom, dad, brothers, and spouse or significant other. I know it's
Sure.
that. I know it's that. But again, I'm kind of useless to them if I'm not a dragon knight. If I'm just going to play a swordsman, and just work at a club for $10 an hour, $20 an hour, whatever the fuck. It seems like I can't even enjoy ice cream with my girl without thinking about bills and stupid shit. I think life is about mastering. You're in the rat race, in the fucking maze. When you mastered something, you have mastery of something, let's say streaming or athletics or whatever the fuck, you're getting a giant fucking sword and you're cutting through the maze and you're free. You're free.
So you said you would feel like you're useless to them if you weren't like the Dragon Knight, right?
I couldn't enjoy their time when I'm clouded by working class thoughts, bills, this, commuting, stuff like that.
Can I ask you this question then?
Yeah.
Do you think that they're useless to you if they're not Dragon Knights?
No. They're not obsessive. They don't really have that, attitude. They're more like, when you talk to them, they don't go 1,000 miles per hour. They're like, hey, well, how are you? Even my brothers who are professionals, I'm like, all right, let's talk about it. They're kind of a different brain, right?
So do you think that you can't emulate the kind of position that they have where they're able to, at the very least, have some kind of balance and seems like enjoy being around their family and being around their community without being a Dragonite? Do you think you could emulate that? Do you think other people could emulate that?
No, I've noticed that even they will, like even family members and friends will be stressed at a barbecue, talk to me about how bullshit their job is getting and stuff like that. And they'll always remind me like, damn, man, you're so blessed to be a streamer. You got this, you got your bathroom right there. You got everything at your fingertips. All you have to do is just go. So, they encourage it, but then they're like, you're doing like 12 hours extra, like you're doing way too much. But also, I guess that anxiety comes from the bands and shit. I'm behind schedule, but I don't know why. This is the happiest I've ever been in my life. Like I don't second guess myself. I don't even do that thing where I have insomnia and think. When you think before you go to bed, I never think. I just close. This is the first time in my life where if I touch my bed, I go to sleep. That's how tired I am. And I've had
Crazy.
good sleep for a month and a half for the first time in my life, but it requires like tons of hours. But it's paying off. Like I'm fucking crushing it right now.
Yeah, so then do you think that it's wholly your responsibility to get your family out of that position? Do you think that your
Yeah.
family views, huh?
Yeah, I think everyone owes it to, your parents kind of raised you. You kind of you owe them a better life. Or, they have a great life. They don't really give a fuck about material stuff, but you owe it to them to be financially free enough to pop up in their life all the time. You don't have, hey, boss, can I take next week off? Can I take the weekend off for Father's Day? You don't have to do that when you're a Dragonite. When you're a Dragonite, you say, stream, I'll be right back. It comes with so much benefits. The only sick part is who the fuck wants to put these kind of hours 20 to 30? Like you'll puke, like
Sure.
I had a fucking nosebleed, like cooped. I missed my whole summer. I didn't go out. I didn't touch sand at the beach once. This is the first summer in my life that I didn't leave this room, and I didn't think it would fly by like that. But and I kind of regret that. But how many summers am I going to have when I'm 32, 33 and lower in energy? I'm going to have plenty.
So then can I ask what happens if in the off chance you get like permanently banned?
I think you can apply this mindset to a lot of things, although you're not going to
Sure.
be as happy. You're not going to be as good. You're not going to be like thriving and shit. But I think the mindset, like I will obviously you panic, but eventually, I'd be on YouTube and I'd start from the bottom again.
So then what happens if you find yourself trying to climb to the top of this ladder your whole life?
Yeah, I think that's bliss. I can't imagine anything better than,
Well, if you so you think the climb is in and of itself
one
fulfilling?
when I was training level 60 to 70 at zombies with my guild was the best feeling I ever had. When I entered my third job with my new skill sets, new abilities, new attack range, right?
Mhm.
That's when I was like, I achieved it, the grind, I didn't do quests. We just grinded on zombies all fucking summer. And that game was like, it took a month to level up, it was a fucking satanic
Yeah.
game. But I always remember bodybuilding, the grind, Maple Story, the grind, security, I didn't like the penthouse parties as much as actually the job and, like getting the bonuses and all that. And it kind of like being in the game and stimulated. It's something about kicking your feet up and relaxing is so fucking scary to me. It's so scary. It's like, it just feels so much better to die climbing the mountain than on a comfortable plateau.
I know what you're talking about. I've thought about it before, like in reference to things like you might as well try like really hard for things. But the thing that stops me personally is just because like I do enjoy doing the things that I do in my free time quite a bit. And
Like what?
I mean,
Like what?
playing video games. That's it. Just
Mm,
talking to my brother and playing video games. That's what I enjoy
you enjoy it
personally.
more than crushing a stream?
Um,
I don't think so. I
Not
think
really.
I think
Probably not, no.
I think you see the stream as a video game, right? Beep boop bop, and you see when to shift content and all that. Do you ever see it like a video game? Like I even have my OBS like labeled the scene as cockpit, right? I see it like a coordinator from Gundam Seed, right? Like in a Gundam, and I really like the idea. I love the idea that you can fall off any second streaming. You can be just a two-viewer Andy tomorrow. That fucking fire and anxiety, like the high stakes kind of feeling, is so fucking is thrilling. And I'm not a gambler. I've never spent time in casinos and stuff, but it kind of feels like that. Oh, this could be the perma ban.
Sure. So it sounds not more like So for me, the reason why I might say yes, the reason why the high feels good for me when it comes to streaming is because I also enjoy streaming as well as playing video games. So, but it
I
sounds.
doubt it. I think when you're deep in an
Mhm,
analysis stream, that is the
mhm.
most you are. Like you can even see how fired up you get for the okay parts are okay, but when you're fired up, that is the most you because it's not just a video game. It's kind of like it pays you. It's a part of your life system, right?
Well,
But
yeah, that's
I know when you're
I'm.
fucking shooting people in
Mhm.
an FPS, it's probably I'd say 50% of the feeling of crushing a good stream and being like, oh shit, like you have 1,000 viewers, right? 1,000 people telling you, damn, today was like flawless. You did great.
Well, I think a part of that is just that it's the same thing, but I'm just getting paid for it, and it's like progressing my position
Well, it's not the
in life.
same. The stream actually is offering unique challenges every day, and metas change or topics change, and you have to adapt. Whereas the game, you just have to get better at the same skill, you know,
Well, I
or the
mean,
same skills.
kind of, but I mean, I'm also kind of just getting better at like pretty similar skills when it comes to streaming. Like when it comes to politics, I'm just refining my knowledge of specific topics and my rhetoric on those specific topics. But what I'm trying to get at specifically is that I like this a lot because it's something that I find to be enjoyable.
Streaming, right?
Um, yeah, streaming. I find streaming is my dream job. It's the thing that I want to do
Yeah.
for the rest of my life. But
Yeah.
if you're somebody who is grinding something that isn't your dream job, that is pretty fucking miserable. So like when I worked other fucking jobs that I did not enjoy,
Right.
I could not do any of the not even I don't even do the mastery level stuff that you're talking about. There's no chance. I would be at the end of, a short rope in a video game if I had to put in the hours you do in that other fucking
Oh,
job.
you
There's just
mean
no
you mean
chance.
like rat race job, like a minimum wage job.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
when I
yeah,
moved furniture, dude, I was looking. I couldn't wait to catch swine flu so I can call in sick.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. So
like
that's why
it's
when I was given a taste of this or whatever this is, I
hmm
was like, oh shit. The last thing I should do right now is turn to that shitty ass streamer named Greek God X and piss it all away and take 3 months off to like hook up with chicks or whatever the fuck he does, right? To be a Chad and shit. I was like, Greek ain't no philosopher. Like Greek would have been fucking cleaning carpets or some shit, right? He is given a
yeah.
golden egg and he threw it in the trash. So sometimes like I can't turn my stream off. Oh, 14 hours, I can go to 18.
Well,
I'm given, my whole high
mhm.
school will message me. They're like, damn, your life looks actually augmented for you. Everything's for you. I can
That's
if
cool.
I go get a double cheeseburger IRL on stream, it's
hmm
content and it's my fucking cheeseburger. Everything, it's augmented for
Yeah.
me. You fuse with the internet, and I love the idea that it comes with insanity. Like people like hate streaming after a while, right? And I
Yeah.
like the idea of dancing around that. You do kind of lose it some days. You're like, what the fuck did I just do all day? Talk to a camera.
Yeah, yeah, that I imagine that's probably more so for you considering how much of your day is built with it. I feel like my days are fucking getting thrown like it feels like I have no free time per day and I only stream like fucking 5 to 6 hours a day. You literally have no free time. So
How many
I
hours
have
do you
no
do?
idea. I only do 5 to 6 hours a day. That's all I do. You do like double that, don't you? You do like fucking like 10 bare minimum,
Can
right?
I tell you what I just did?
Would you go for it?
I finished 18-hour stream. I took a 1 hour nap, and now I'm on my 13th hour.
Okay, that's gotta okay, that's a little unhealthy, I think. I could only imagine
No,
that's
because
probably
I've
not good
realized
for you.
something about I keep thinking of Army guys or those Navy SEAL guys or my older brother in military. These guys would go like fucking weeks without sleep, right? I'm like, yeah, I can push it. And it's so interesting how the body does catch up. Like when I touch the bed, I'll sleep for 10 hours and wake up fresh as a daisy, right? So it's kind of crazy how like you can put sleep on the back burner. Train does it. A lot of people do it, right?
I've, I mean, sometimes, yeah, for sure,
And
but
that's
it
where
should be done in moderation.
Destiny got angry here because he's like health before stream, and I said no,
Right.
I
So,
disagree. You know what? I want to be so honest that people hate me on the internet. I disagree. I'll take off a few years of my life to grow my
Sure.
stream. Yeah, I will.
So I think a big difference is when we're talking about this thing is that this is part of your dream job. So when you're talking about
Yeah.
like people grinding and doing things, what I hear like grinding at some random job, not
Oh
grinding
yeah,
at
that
their
doesn't.
dream
That's like
job.
spinning your tires. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
Right.
I'm thinking
So
of those
like
guys in chat who are like, "Hey, I'm a music producer. I do it 4 hours a day. I love it." Those are the guys that I go, crank it to 10.
sure. So I think your argument is a little bit better than what I had thought going into it because yeah, like I said, I thought your whole thing was like
I thought
just
you'd been
work
angry
hard.
though. I thought you'd be angry at the sacrificing health. Like, did you
No,
know?
not really.
Whoa. Okay, so there's like some gladiator warrior classes in MMOs where you sacrifice not just mana but a bit of HP for a higher attack range. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's literally what it feels like to
Well,
go long hours. It
so
feels worth it.
anybody that says that like enjoyment cannot be at the loss of or some future investment cannot be at the loss of your health is probably an idiot because anybody watching us probably spends an unhealthy amount of time
Yeah.
sitting on their ass in a fucking chair
Oh, I
being
wish I had this
unhealthy.
argument against
Yeah,
Steven,
exactly.
dude.
So
Fuck.
like we're being unhealthy fucks, eating chips all day, fucking drinking soda, or body weight in this fucking shit. I sit on my chair probably 16 hours a fucking day. I can't say that living an unhealthy lifestyle in exchange for benefit in my early years or benefit for me to feel enjoyment or a possible investment when it comes to my stream is not something that you should do because I'm actively doing it every moment of the fucking day
Yeah.
pretty much. So you need to talk about like what do you think will pay off as an unhealthy thing? So I think, for instance, me and you would probably agree that taking fucking your body weight in fucking MDMA to be able to get the most poggers stream in the
Yeah.
fucking world before you burn out in 30 minutes is probably not a good
Mm.
trade for health
Right.
to like stream performance.
Right.
So the whole question is what measure of health to stream performance is a good trade?
Well,
And yeah,
well,
but go ahead.
I'm someone who's like taken so many drugs, whether smart drugs, performance enhancing drugs in my past, like for athletics, stuff like that. I've tried so much stuff, and I've been in serious trouble. Um, like ambulance, like ambulances in my house and shit. I've been in so much trouble, and I've destroyed my health to where I'm talking to the paramedics and shit. I'm not to make it a sad stream or shit like that, but
Right.
I've already done the worst to myself. It seemed I feel invincible in my little office just in front of my
Mm-hmm.
computer when I compare it to my old life. I'm like, I feel like Jesus when he's reborn. Like
Mm-hmm.
now I'm in God. I got the Holy Spirit running through my veins now. Now I'm not a man anymore. I am now, the whole Trinity. That's how I feel. And but it is kind of like if you think about it when you take your foot off the gas, are you the type that, can go back on it? Or do you freeze for a few days, maybe a few weeks? Yeah, are you like that?
I'm sorry, what exactly?
Like when I lose momentum,
I
I'm
just
frozen. It's bad, you know? So,
um I mean it depends. You're talking about momentum for like streaming?
yeah, like to take 2 days off would be very bad for my mindset when I do come back. I don't feel
Oh,
fresh.
so
I feel
yeah,
bad.
so I agree. So I always feel like almost depressed, almost literally, when I but not quite. Like I feel horrible.
Yeah.
Very apathetic. And also miserable whenever I take a single day off of streaming. It feels like a complete waste of time, no matter what I did. Um, because for me it is not a big deal to not stream like or sorry it is not a big deal to stream like I enjoy streaming so it's not like I'm going massively out of my way to stream in comparison to like my old job where it's
Yeah.
like yeah fuck that shit I would take a day off and fucking jerked off all day and I would have thought it would have been better um and so when it comes to streaming, no matter what I've done, every day that I've taken off of streaming, it doesn't feel like it's worth it, no matter what.
Yeah.
But so there is that issue. So, but I just wanted to address that, like, when we're talking about the health of ourselves and the trading for health, the thing that isn't quite like done here isn't necessarily just your physical health that we're talking about, which may be in question. It's more of like the health of your relationships and
Right.
and knowing like that you're going to be uh, uh good like later when you come back around to it. So like not spending as much time with family, not building those connections in the early years, because when you talk about like you can pick things up like years later, it usually doesn't work that way. So like as a personal example, like it worked that way for me because I allowed it to happen. But as a personal example, one of my friends, which is my best friend, we hadn't spoken like 6 years because he was like doing military stuff and he was going to go do some other career stuff and he was focusing on himself and he thought for a long time that we just were not going to be friends. And so he tried to reach out like years later just out of nowhere. He said that he wasn't expecting a response. And I like was like, yeah, of course, we're like I'm down to still hang out and talk and shit like that. But the idea is that like you can't just put your personal life on pause, expect your friends to still be your friends, even some of your family members to still like you. You need to maintain relationships, maintain
Well, but what would be the difference of
yourself.
those guys who joined the fucking Navy and go on a boat, save a ton of money, and they're out in seas for like 4 years? Wouldn't that be the equivalent to like wasting, 26 to 30
Well,
straight in
not
your mind?
necessarily. It depends because people view that relationship differently. Um, I think when you are like deep into your work and you haven't like talked to somebody and you're on your grind and stuff like that, people don't view that relationship with your work as similar to you literally being like deployed overseas or something like that. As well as like the deployment overseas, somebody coming back and what have you, do actually have a lot of their relationships in some cases like tested. Like we've all seen the memes of like people coming back from deployment and their girlfriend or boyfriend cheated on them fucking
Yeah.
5,000 times.
Well,
And shit.
that's why I kind of like say, instead of like keeping your life on pause, why not just go into your, grind set or whatever
Oh,
without
without
a
connection.
life? Why not
Sure,
go
sure.
into it as just like a, let's say, like, or like a nerd, or why not go into it without a life and then play catch up in your 30s? I mean, when you're successful, it seems like you have tons of friends all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you know that
Like,
the
I'm
like you've
sure
heard
you as a
the
streamer has made 1,000 friends in a week, but when you weren't a streamer, what did we have? I had one friend my whole life. You know what I mean? I didn't have that many,
sure.
and I'm sure you've had like a handful, right?
Yeah, I've had a couple friends
Yeah. So
in my
why
life.
not just play catch up when you're a Dragon Knight? Kind of like Destiny is such a good example.
Well, I mean, actually, Destiny's talked about this, and a lot of like high status people have talked about it. You can't really make friends easily. You make friends incredibly difficultly
Well,
when you
I
have
think
more
friends are
status.
transactional anyway, so I don't mind that.
Sure, it transactional friendships I think are different. And, like I
No,
would make it like an
I make the
all,
argument
yeah.
that your girlfriend and your friends are all
Mhm.
transactional
I don't
anyway. Not
disagree
that I
with you.
want it to be that way. I think that's how it is
I
objectively.
agree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. But I think the way that they're transactional is different based on your status. Like you're never going to know if somebody actually likes you for who you are if you have status or you're rich. You'll never know to the day you die, right? But I can know if I'm some broke bum, right? Like if
Yeah.
that person sticks around with me, they're probably there around for me with that. And so
Yeah,
when
but
you're rich, go ahead.
when you're broke, it's almost like, let's say you have good friends around you, you're not there for yourself. So you're still losing a huge friend, like your own self. You wake up clouded and thinking about bills and all this stuff. And I never in my life ever thought I'd be this financially sound ever, right? It's like a fucking hitting the lottery, right? But a
Yeah.
lottery that you have to work, 17 plus 13, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, the point is, aren't friends kind of overrated? Am I crazy?
No, I actually think if anything, friends are underrated relative to like relationships and things like this, honestly.
Really? I think
Yeah.
when I talk, let's say I had you and Destiny on a call and we're doing
Yep.
topics, I find that a better, instead of, I love being with my real friends, but I find that better when it feels like, are you a Naruto fan?
Yeah.
Okay. When I'm with you and Destiny on a call debating or talking about topics, it doesn't feel like I'm at the Konoha village with my friends. It feels like I'm with Shinobi in the internet world, and we're throwing shurikens, and it's not like we like each other. We're grouped up together because that's how the unit works.
Sure.
We're a 3-man cell, and Destiny's the leader. You're the new streamer, right? I've got potential and crackhead energy, so I've got some fire jutsus and stuff. Basically, fire release jutsus and stuff. So basically, I think that why when three of us are binded together, not because we like each other, but because there's utility together, to me, that's like some Navy SEAL shit. That's way better than friendship. Way better. And you become smarter. You make better decisions. You go into Ethereum or whatever the fuck Steven's trying to tell us, right? You get all these hidden scroll wisdoms of, hey, this NFT is for you, Zherka. You start getting all these shortcuts in life and stuff. And I look at my friends, I'm like, guys, I don't really miss you. I've spent my whole life not leveling up. It feels really good to level up fast. I feel like I'm vac hacking. All the monsters are being dragged on one side of the screen, and I'm hacking compared to my construction self or where the fuck I was doing, moving furniture. And it every day becomes real. I helped some construction workers with some fucking piece of metal, and I was only there for 60 seconds. They're there for 8-hour shifts or whatever. And I was so drained holding that thing and tired, and I'm just ready to go home after 60 seconds. I couldn't believe that they're going back to do that for 8 hours. And I came back to my stream. I'm like, I'm not doing 8 hours. We're going to 20. I think we did 21 hours that day. We went crazy, right? Because it was just like real. It was the most real feeling ever. I was like, whoa, you're from that world. Now you're in the tree of AWOL with Jake Sully and Neytiri, and Neytiri is like an e-girl or whatever, you know what I mean, in Avatar. I'm on Pandora now, and then every time I go back to Earth or in the real world, I go, I don't like society, I want to go lock myself up.
Sure. So, I mean, I have a different view of how friends operate. Like, I know what you're talking about, especially when you were trying to relate that, and you said like the Navy SEAL thing, like the level of camaraderie or the feeling of friendship that you might get when
It's like sacrificing bond for extra skills. You guys, when I watch you guys give me new ideas and stuff like that, and I get extra skills. I go, what's AhRelevant reacting to? Is this good enough for me? Da, da, da. It's like, I don't know. It's almost like it's kind of weird. It's kind of satanic to think about if you think about it, like skills over bond and friendship.
Right. So I think that I think you can have friends for the bond and associates or even friends for like skills and stuff.
But
And the reason,
do you need
Mhm.
that bond when our job is to like be social with other people all day?
I would say so. I'd say it's pretty important.
Do you have
And
a
the
friend
reason,
you see outside of streaming? I don't.
I mean, just my brother. Yeah.
So, my twin brother. Yeah, exactly.
hmm
I can't
But
think
yeah,
of.
I go to my twin brother because I have a bond with my twin brother. Because
I
my
have a
twin
twin brother. You
brother,
don't have a twin brother.
I do actually.
What?
You do as well.
I'm fraternal, 5 minutes younger.
Oh, I'm identical. So
You're a twin?
I'm an identical twin. Yeah.
So you understand that you and I can replace friends easily. What the fuck?
Sure. Yeah, me and you can, but like,
Yeah.
you understand how rare this is?
Yo, we can literally, you need a boost to 10-hour streams now. You have to.
Yeah. So like, that's the thing. Honest to God, Zherka, I'm just gonna say I'm just more lazy than you. I just prioritize like I don't need to prioritize. You're right in this kind of arrangement. I don't need to prioritize like maintaining a relationship that much. My brother literally just will always be there to be like my best friend and always be there for
No,
me and
you,
try
you
and
don't
support me and
understand
all this
how
shit.
this is how close we are. When I turn this off, within 2 steps, I'll spend the whole day with him.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. That's
Right?
how I do it. As soon as I turn off my stream, I
You guys
enter
in
a
the same
Discord call with
place?
him. No, we've lived together for like fucking 24 years. Then I moved to Arizona. Then I moved again. But
Oh,
yeah,
you're
no.
twins that split up. Damn.
Yeah, we are. We don't. Well, we lived together for so long that we don't mind splitting up as
Right.
much anymore because we don't do like physical shit with each other. We play video games with each other. We talk on
Oh, okay,
Discord
okay.
with
So
each
it's the
other.
same shit.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same shit.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what we do. We do
It's
that
the
shit all
same
the
shit,
time.
but
So
he can't take your fucking charger.
yes, exactly, dude. He gets it. Like that's where I'm at. So like me and you are going to be in a unique position, right? I have a best friend just innately at the jump, right? And I don't need to really do much to maintain that relationship. I don't know how much you need to do. I don't need to do much to maintain that relationship. It's kind of just like a brotherly bond
Yeah, like
that
you see
is,
once a year, but no bad feelings.
yeah.
I have one friend like that. I see once a year, but no ill feelings because he works,
Right.
we work.
And so I think what we need to keep track of is that we're in a unique position in regards to that. I think a lot of people get really fucking lonely and they get really fucking they feel like they need that social connection. I've told my chat, and some people have said that it's cope, but it's I truly mean this is 100%. Like, if take anything, it's 100%. I haven't been lonely in the past 12 years of my life. I haven't been lonely. I just don't get lonely
Yeah,
because of my brother. I don't get lonely.
exactly. Yeah,
And so like I've never been like, oh God, I need somebody to talk to or anything. Like, I always have had somebody to talk to, always 24 hours a day. And so I think that the issue is that there's people that can feel lonely or isolated or miserable over a period of time if they invest so much into the work because they've isolated themselves from those other people. Now, if you have a strong social connection there, like, maybe you aren't going to need as many other people. This is why I say friends are underrated, because I'm assuming that they're not necessarily people like you or me, where
you're
they
right.
don't have that connection. If you don't have that connection, you can go down a very serious depression spiral. And I think that's where you really do need friends. You need people that are there before the fame, that you know are going to be there, that you know are there for who you are. Because if they're there after the fame, they're after the money, you're never going to know. As soon as the money fades, they could fade as well.
But
You'll never know.
I'll make the argument that even when you're broke, not just society and your friends, society and everyone around you doesn't engage with you unless you show up as a DK, and I'm a, my whole stream's like fuck society, but really I don't preach to abandon it. I preach to beat the game, right? Or get out of the rat race however you can. But now that I think about it, if you're not a DK, if you're not a Dragonite, do your friends really engage with you that much? Like dead end friends are usually, like you guys have
It's
fun
hard.
and stuff. It
Yeah.
becomes harder, and you guys drift apart, right? So
Sometimes for sure. I mean, it's very, very difficult. It's not normalized for
people
friends to
never
really be.
answered my calls till I became a streamer, dude. Like friends wise, I was or acquaintance kind of friends, and I
Mhm.
now we can meet in 2 seconds, and I get it. I had nothing really to offer. Like I was gonna offer you, we're gonna smoke a joint and talk about flat Earth. So now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, we are in a unique position, and you know what's crazy? You're in a position where you can solve all your. I didn't know you're a twin, so you can solve every loose end. Let's assume you did get lonely after stream. Like when you turn it off, it gets very quiet,
Yep.
right? Like me.
Hmm.
Well, if you work your fucking ass off streaming, you're so tired that you can't be lonely because you're right in bed, wake up, stream again. Not only are your finances going up, everything's going up. You can build your studio, your podcast, whatever you want. Every stat goes up. Loneliness goes down because you're too tired to be lonely. You're literally asleep and you wake up and you're
See,
back to being social.
this is a point of contention that I think we have. I think you can be so busy that you distract yourself away from some of the emotions, that you kind of like bury yourself in work. But I think that that expression is apt. You bury yourself in work. It's that when you come back up and then you realize that, like, life isn't work. So, like, let me ask you, so if you're using work as a means of being able to distract yourself or be busy from being lonely, what happens when you're done working?
Well, that's the point. The whole point is that you're on the mountain. You're never done, ever. That's how you
So you
die.
just work until you die? You don't
Yes.
ever like take a break or relax?
40, 50, maybe? I don't know.
Okay, so then at 40 and 50, then are you lonely? Like, how
I don't know. I
you
don't know
spent.
if let's say everything went according to plan and you're super successful. You can
Mhm.
have your own house. You don't have to get screwed by the fucking system. You know,
Yeah.
and that house can double. And you can sell it and move next to Hassan. Or the fuck, don't get a
Mhm.
mansion, but you know what I'm saying. I actually think that's a way better bridge to cross than hitting 50 and feeling like a bum with a few friends. I think that's a way worse feeling, actually. You know,
Oh, I'm sorry. What is a way worse feeling
hitting
than
50 with your friends, but
uh-huh.
really having nothing to show for it.
Um,
I think, when you
I
look
don't
at
know.
life as a project, failing the project is a lot worse
So then
than,
let me tell you this. Then
yeah.
let me hit you with a pretty hard question then, John. So you agree, so your twin brother is a really large part of, like, Like your social life, right? Is what you're
He's
saying?
my only
Or,
social. All right, I was trying to be
yeah.
cool. He's my only
Okay.
social life.
All right.
He's
Cool.
and
All
he's
right.
a
So we're
professional
in a similar position.
So he's a professional therapist. He has clients all day, but then
Hmm.
we get at least 4 or 5 hours, and we game, we play Mario Kart, we do whatever, and we talk about shit, and he loves it. He's like, this is the best you. He's like to me, this is the best you I've ever seen because I've seen you obsess over things, but
Hmm.
me coping with these fucking 20-hour streams, he thinks this is the best me. He's like, once you catch up on sleep at the end of the week, this is the best version of you. Even if it's in excess, he notices like you're not frustrated, you don't get angry, you don't throw the controller when you're losing, nothing's happening, right? And he's like, oh wow. So it's kind of like I feel like the hamster on the wheel, and I really like the wheel.
Sure. So then can I ask a pretty tough question because we were talking
Yeah,
about loneliness at 50 or what have you versus being a bum at 50 with friends.
yeah.
So then this is gonna be a tough question. You could choose to not answer it if you want to. Would you rather have your brother and be a bum at 50 or then not have that connection with your brother? He can be alive and everything. Just not have the same bond or connection with your brother, but be rich at 50.
Honestly, the worst false comparison because a brother or a twin, especially, is not a friend. I know where you're going.
Sure.
That is not. People think it's
Hmm.
close. That's not even. They're not.
Okay.
That's totally. If you had said friend, then I'd be like, maybe I can think of this. I would still think, family is more important than security and to work
Sure.
hard. But brother, obviously, everyone will choose their brother over fucking success, right?
Okay.
Right? That's like a no-brainer,
So
especially a
then
twin.
you're
But
saying
but
that.
if you're going for that false comparison of uh some people's friends feel like they're brothers, I disagree. I don't think you can compare that at all. Like not even 1%.
So I don't necessarily disagree with you when it comes to friends, but it seems like people do this with romantic partners.
Right,
That's what they try and
right.
do,
It's
right? Is
cringe.
they try right. So that what this is what I've talked about a lot on my stream. I think what a lot of people go into like intimate partners for is a sense of companionship and somebody being there who isn't going to leave you. Not even like the sex or even necessarily the physical intimacy. That kind of comes second. What comes primarily first is the companionship and the person that will always be there for you, the person that is like invested in who you are in your future,
Yeah.
right? And so if that is the case, then do you think that most people would be able to go and live their whole life till they're 50 without a partner, without a
Mhm.
relationship, um and be rich
Excuse me,
in
20 to
comparison?
30, right? You're thinking most people?
Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
I was just trying to keep with the 40 to 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do
I don't
20 to
really have
30.
a game plan for 40, 50. I just 20 to
Sure,
30
sure,
is my
sure.
my game
Sure.
plan.
So then
Yeah.
we could stick with 20 to 30. Do you think most people would take either a good relationship in 20 to 30, right? A
Mhm.
fulfilling relationship
Oh,
in
they
20
would
to 30
100%.
in comparison?
99%
Right.
of people will take the girlfriend and the ice cream and the dog.
Okay, so if
Right.
that's the case, then do you think that maybe we should be promoting that people try and be able to get out there and be social and engage with people and find that fulfilling relationship rather than just, putting their head to the grindstone?
I think that would be like a lie. Like I would be living a lie because you can't be a live streamer and promote what you don't do and believe for yourself. So if chat is going to be people who are alike to me, kind of more extreme or obsessive and the kind of manic, I guess, people who like that kind of energy or like Destiny when he's on Adderall, like they like that energy. If chat is going to be my kind of humans, right? 99%
Hmm.
of society isn't going to watch me, right? It's just this chat, right? Right? I
Hmm.
think it would be a disservice to tell my chat, hey, go for a balanced lifestyle, but watch what I'm gonna do. And I drop all
Well,
pieces of Exodia in 10 years. That's horrible. That's the worst thing you could do to your chat, I think. That's the
well,
Hassan. That's Hassan.
I don't necessarily think it's. I think there's a distinct difference between a son and in this one. So in our case, I would say the reason why you might give them incongruent advice with what you're doing right now
Yeah.
is because you are in a unique position. Most people do not have a bond that you have with your twin brother or that I have with my twin brother. Most people don't have that. So we're already privileged
No,
in
no, no,
that
no, no.
regard, one specifically, no?
If we could not chill
Hmm.
with our brothers, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure you and I, we would, we could spend 3 months away from our twin to work hard and let's say, pull out like a lot of success in our life. Let's say a whole summer. We could spend a lot of time away from our twin. Can you do it? I can do it.
I could do it.
I can do
I've
it.
spent. My brother went to college for a
Yeah.
while, so
But it
yeah.
would have to involve a reward, right? It's not like if I had to spend time away from my brother and there's no reward, physically I couldn't do it, right?
Yeah,
But
I
if there's
agree.
a
There needs
reward,
to be a good
yeah.
reason.
And even if I had to lock myself here and I crank to 10,000 viewers, but I can't see my twin brother for a year, I would say, I'll see you in a year, right? And he would be really
Hmm.
happy about that. He'd be like, that's very grown up of you because we spend our whole lives together. We have every waking second together. He'd be like, okay,
Hmm.
if you're going to the next level, enter the hyperbolic time chamber and come back correct. And he would encourage it actually. As a therapist, he would encourage it because
Yeah.
he understands that when these 20s in your 20s when this level of mana we carry fades
Hmm.
into our 30s, and then 30s you have what your mana drops by like 20%, right? Then it's kind
Hmm.
of like wonky. Also in your 30s your priorities change and you can't have manic energy like you had in your 20s. And most of my chat's young people, so I'm like, if you're like me in chat and you're young and you're and partying is kind of a waste of time, this is what I do. Whether it's wrong or
Right.
right, it's working for me, right?
So the
So I
so
think
I
it's
think
our
that I
duty to preach our real lifestyle, not majority. If we're always going to preach to the masses, then why not tell everyone to be a vegan because heart disease is out of control and stuff like that, and or pescatarian, have some fish, and
well,
we could do
I
that.
think that
We
is
could
a pretty
always
important message.
humans can
But
always cater advice for the masses, but I
hmm
think this, unless you're a politician or something, this is a very bad. You have specific advice for your chat because they're like you. I have specific advice for my chat because they're like me. And I think if we stray and always try and appeal to the masses or stuff like that, that's
why
very
can't we just
bad.
be
That
why can't we just be specific and do both? So like why can't I say if you have somebody in your life that you're able to attach to and cling to like me and you can and
yeah,
have a really cool social,
yeah,
why can't I say that you could like put a bunch of hours in work? I
yeah,
would still have an argument against like
yeah.
your amount of hours, like dude, that's a crazy amount. Like there's I would check with your fucking doctor, dude. You're on some insane stuff.
Crushing it.
But yeah, like there's that's going to obviously present a unique situation for us to be able to literally forego something that people spend thousands of hours trying to look for. That companionship, people spend thousands of hours looking for that.
I'm not saying they have to be like me, but it's a good arrow, right? Or excuse me, good target sign. So if I'm doing, let's say, a 20-hour stream, I'd love my chat to stretch their 4-hour workday into 10 because they're pointing at my target. They're not trying to hit bullseye at 20 hours, but they definitely want to get close to half, right?
So
I
wait,
think I think
sure.
it's good to be extreme because you shake people out of apathy and you bring them from middle to, let's say, closer to you, but not necessarily to you because that would destroy them. That's too much, too fast, right?
Right. So then what you're just essentially arguing is that there is some middle ground that like the masses might be able to
Right.
obtain
Yeah. Save a
when
few
they don't.
moderates. That's all I'm saying.
Sure. So like I mean, if that's your argument, it depends on where we define that middle ground. Obviously, I mean, I wouldn't disagree with you because we are fortunate in our ability to have a pretty much an innate at the jump good social life with another person. We're going to have more time freed up for us to be able to explore passions or what have you. And especially also included, I'm not sure if it's the situation for you, but if the situation ever befalls me and I run out of money or I run out of the ability to do shit, my brother will still be there to like support me.
Mm,
And then we can work together to
yeah.
making sure that, I'm not completely fucked. So I have a safety net as well, which is another human being invested in my future.
Yeah.
And that's something that maybe not a lot of other people feel like they
Yeah.
have.
Which a lot of people don't understand. Oh, you have a twin, so you have a financial safety net. Twins don't see each other as financial safety nets. What the real buff is the emotional mental safety net,
True.
right?
That is
It's
the most important
you
part of it
don't
for
know
sure.
what kind of conversations you can have with a twin compared to, let's say, a brother even or a friend. The conversations can go, when you guys are gaming, I'm sure it's like you guys can go to it's like you don't have to, when I talk to people, we're always trying to understand each other, and twins get it. There's some memes you
Yeah.
guys had when you're 5 years old that just stuck around, right?
So yeah, so like for me though, another example is there's somebody who was a friend though in me and my brother's life who we considered to be probably as close of a friend as you can get to being a relative,
Right, we
right?
have that too.
Um,
A Tamil guy
right.
named Brat. Shout out Brat.
There you go. And he was and still is like my best friend. And you know, he is somebody that we believe is in that echelon. It just takes so much time to develop that relationship because you're going to need to go through probably some strife, some
Yeah.
like issues, and then resolve that and like patchwork it together so that way you know each other are going to be like at least emotionally there for one another. So I think you can probably get to a point with friends that you would be able to have a decent emotional attachment to, but I don't necessarily know if it is going to get to the level
Mm.
that
It's
might
definitely
be
worth
resulted in
exploring.
twin.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's my point is I think that when we're talking about the general populace, those people should be looking for ways to establish good relationships, especially because later when you get money or status, good relationships are going to become impossible to discern.
Yeah.
Like literally impossible to discern. So you should get that shit sorted. And then if you do have that shit sorted, like in mine and your case, you could talk about grinding and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
My issue is when you do have that shit sorted, your personal life with your friends, and you guys have beers and party and stuff like that. When you do have that sorted, it's almost like the flood from Halo. It starts morphing and growing and pulling you away from work. You know what I mean?
Well, some of it might. Some of
I
it
mean,
might for
it
sure. It
for
depends on the
99% of people, it engulfs them, right?
what the friendships and stuff.
Absolutely. That they're like, I don't really want to upgrade my skill set, my trade, go to more college. I'm gonna have a few beers and stay at this job.
So
They'll
then, yeah,
choose the plateau on the mountain by accident because they're busy drinking.
so this is where I've actually given a bit of advice that I think is really true. I think you should pick friends that encourage you to do specific things. So like I had certain friends growing up that did certain things that made me feel like a lazy dumb fuck
Yeah.
for not doing it. Right? So like let's say me and you were friends prior to streaming. If I that was the case, I would feel such a drive to stream seeing you stream as often as you do
Yeah.
because right we're friends and that's just kind of how people are is they're like I will feel more like I am not doing what I need to be doing if that's something I feel like I need to be doing because you are doing it and I kind of associate myself with you or that I acknowledge your position and that it's somewhat similar or comparable to my position so there isn't really a good excuse for me to be playing fucking Dota for 8 hours or fucking Pathfinder for 8 hours off stream or something. There's not really a good reason for that. So I will start comparing myself there and doing that, and that can get pretty unhealthy. But it can also be a really good motivator if you do it in a healthy way and you try and go about it. You can be like other people can be a really good motivator for you to go out there and do things.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. You should probably look at like the type of friends that you have and how those friends could encourage you to do better and how you could encourage those friends to do better and
I've no,
stuff like that for
I've
sure.
noticed as an adult, friends just disappear after high school, and coworkers become best friends and stuff, which I think is probably the healthiest way to go about it. To be honest, if you really don't want to waste time, partying with a coworker is still like networking. It's still like
Well, you
benefiting
should
you.
be friends with your coworkers for sure.
Well,
Because
yeah,
like you
my
said,
argument is like, your high school friends, see them and stuff, but your
yeah,
time shouldn't go to them at all. It should go to your coworkers, whether you work nightclub security, you're with that
I think it
security team.
depends on your. I think it depends on your relationship. So currently, like some of the only friends that I have that didn't come from stream, obviously there's gonna be that would be the coworker thing, to a degree. Um, all of the friends that I have, came from high school, and I still do shit with them and like hang out with them. But I would argue I'm
Is
in a
it
rather
productive
unique
though?
position. Yeah, for sure.
It's
Like
productive
the
with your high school friends. I do. My high school friends and we're DJs, dude. Like we just
Oh, sorry. Do you
meme.
mean that it's like productive and then that they push me to like stream more? No.
Yeah,
Or
exactly. So
like,
it's almost the let's say there's like a fucking giant bullet that's gonna hit us if we don't hit our goals by 30.
Mhm.
It's toxic. It would be considered toxic that we just run memes with our high school friends when we could be running memes with our streamer friends. It
Oh,
seems like
sure.
the worst time mismanaged. Most people mismanage their time like that. That they'll spend 6 hours with their homies when really those homies don't even want to progress. Like they don't give a fuck really.
Sure, but that's just in the form of like relaxing though. That would be the like how I relax is I enjoy my relaxation time more. It is a more enjoyable relaxation and it
Right.
feels
True.
worth it and I'm more re-energized if I can spend it with those people. And so
True.
that's what matters to me. Is I can only control me and I need to control myself to the best of my ability, which is hey, when I get relaxation time, I'm gonna do my relaxation time. These are the people that it feels optimal with, and then I, as an adult, need to decide when enough is enough, and then go back to streaming and do my streaming thing. So that's pretty much where I am with that. So like I don't know. I think there's a balance. I really do. I think there's a balance that you can strike. I think it's definitely as we've kind of talked about going to be case by case depending on the relationships you have outside of your work and shit like that because obviously if you have a best friend that you truly believe it isn't going to go anywhere like I have with my brother and what sounds like you might have with your brother like or your twin I should be
Yeah.
more specific in this case are twins is that then obviously that presents itself with new opportunities and like honestly just more time that me and you can spend doing things in comparison to most people who spend hundreds of hours or thousands of hours looking for some type of connection that'll make them not lonely or not miserable or have their mental health work pretty decently. I would say the only critique that I have at this point is probably just how extreme you go about it and
Yeah.
it's like how your physical health might be going at this point in time
Mhm.
and shit like that like
Check it
I
out.
don't know.
Check it out. Last month, 4,000 subs. Got it. This month, we're predicting
Mm.
6,000 to
That
7,000
would
subscriptions at the end of September. Or if September is like very prosperous, this the storm is coming, the winter's coming,
mhm.
and so this is going to be great. And for me, it's a fund for a giant studio, expensive studio, a podcast, right? And
Yeah.
also like travel expenses. But it's so cool to think that like every sub feels like a brick to my giant podcast studio castle. Like here's another
That's
brick,
cool.
and yeah, it's super addictive.
Yeah, I would say just don't go too wild with it. You got to make sure you're looking out for your own physical health.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah, and
just
it's weird
yeah.
because every week is different. Like people are like, "Yo, how did you do it last week?" Every week is different. So sometimes I'll need a 16-hour sleep break or some shit, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as I'm smart, I mean, we're gonna see. Maybe at 30, I'll be like, "Fuck, dude, that was kind of
Hmm.
crazy." But I guess
Yeah,
I'll
it's
run the
just
experiment.
yeah, I don't know. It's just the where I'm sitting and where I felt like Destiny was kind of trying to get at is that there's a lot of people that granted, there's a good amount of them are successful. So I'll grant you that. There's a good amount of people that are like of your similar mindset who go about doing this and they've looked back and they've either said something that may not be necessarily very applicable to you, which is like the connections or friendships. It sounds like you have a really strong foundational friendship and
Yeah,
maybe establishing some good friendships prior to becoming famous or what have you or wealthy could be a good idea because like we talked about you can't really make know who your friends are when you're famous so maybe that would be really nice. God knows that's what I'm hoping to have is to have a couple of people that I know are my friends and then pretty much everybody the fuck else is just there for like my money or clout if I was to get big and so I could figure out who the fuck is there for what and but not only that but also like potentially like running their physical health out, like potentially ruining their body or what have you, so they can't go out on long hikes or
yeah,
skydive or do any of that shit when they have the money to and really enjoy it. Yeah. So I don't know, but it also sounds like what you really a large part of what you want to do is just get the money to be able to give the money to the people that like helped get you here and that you think really deserve it and that you want to pay them
yeah.
back and stuff.
It's not like pay
So
them back cash because they wouldn't even accept, but I do get to
yeah.
buy their time. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah,
going
yeah.
here. We're going there. You get their time, right? You get to buy
Yeah,
their
you
time.
get, yeah, you get to,
Yeah.
you know, pay for that kind of enjoyment for sure. Yeah.
Okay, you won.
All right.
You
I
won.
don't think I won this. I think it was just like
And
there
I
was a
don't know how
measure
I
of
lost to a
misunderstanding.
dude talking into a fucking chode.
It's
You don't know what that
literally,
looks like, dude. I don't know why you put a sock on it. What?
it's because, dude, I don't have a pop filter, dude. It's the oldest trick in the book, dude. It's the oldest trick in the book.
It choose a black sock or me. I don't know, man. Why would you choose like that tan color?
I don't know, dude. It was the only sock that I had. A red sock somewhere.
It's so hard to focus on a debate staring at that the whole time. I was like, oh my god, dude. You have a
Oh my
twin,
god.
dude. I had no idea. What the fuck?
Yeah, I got an identical twin brother, dude. We have what I would consider to be probably the apex of like relationships that you can have, dude. It's a strong bond, man. A very strong bond, and I'm
Yeah,
really happy about
especially
it.
because it helps with grades too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or high school becomes like hacks.
Dude, hell yeah. For sure. All right, bro. I gotta go. Okay.
All right,
It's fun
man.
talking to
Peace, peace.
you. Yeah, see you later. Bye.